Good evening and welcome to the applicant, staff, board members, and members of the public. This is the March 17, 2026 meeting of the City of Bangor's Planning Board. It's 7 o'clock. My name's Jonathan Boucher. I'm the chair of the board. Board members are volunteers from the Bangor community. And other board members in attendance this evening are Ted Brush, Tricia Hayes, Greg Hobson, Ken Hune, Vice Chair Janet Jonas, Ross Whitford, I think that's everyone. We don't have Justin Cartier in attendance tonight. City staff members in attendance this evening include Planning Officer Anya Collette, Assistant Solicitor Grace Ennis, City Engineer Jefferson Davis, and Planning Analyst Matthew Altiero. We thank them all for their help in preparation for this meeting. Can you guys just give me a nod if you hear me fine through the audio? Okay. So tonight we're going to start with old business. We're going to go through the meeting minutes from March 3rd, 2026. I'd look to see if there's any modifications or comments on those minutes. Otherwise, I'd look for a motion to approve the minutes.
Move to approve.
We have a motion from Member Hune, looking for a second from Member Jonas, and we'll get a roll call vote. Member Brush,
Yes.
Member Hayes,
Yes.
Member Hobson,
Yes.
Member Hune,
Yes.
Member Jonas,
Yes.
Member Whitford,
Yes.
Chair votes yes. The next item is the adoption of findings on the decision for 570 Stillwater Avenue. First off, are there any discussions on the adoption of findings and decision? If not, I'd look for a motion on this item. Member Hune?
I move to approve.
Okay, and a second?
I'll second.
And a roll call vote. Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hobson?
Yes.
Member Hune?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
Member Whitford?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. All right. Is there any other old business we want to mention? If not, we'll move on to new business for tonight. Tonight, we're going to start with the public information session on city changes to the City Land Development Code to comply with state laws. You consider whether this should be. And so I have a whole introduction about how we handle these sort of discussions as it pertains to the land amendments to the Land Development Code or Site Development Review. What I'd like to jump to is just talking through what our typical item presentation, public comment, and deliberation looks like, because it'll weigh into this. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to have city staff present about the different state laws and what they're going to mean for the city of Bangor. And then we're going to open it up for public comment, but I'll just read through this blurb so that I touch on everything. So for land development permits, we'll first consider and vote on the applicant's readiness for review and any concerns for conflict of interest. But for all other items, the applicant or the representative should then come forward to the podium and provide a brief introduction to the proposal. And then they should stay at the podium while we consider any questions the staff and or board members. But for code amendments, staff may make the presentation. And in this case, staff will give the presentation as well. And once the item has been presented, the applicant may then be seated. We will allow time for public comment. For public comments, the person should come to the podium, introduce themselves, state if they're a Bangor resident and or an abutter to the property, as if it's applicable, and indicate if they are for or against the proposal. It's also helpful if you present your thoughts based upon the city codes and standards and the comprehensive plan, as these are the primary documents used by the board to make our decision. All comments and discussion should remain respectful and considerate of others. And once public comments are completed, we will close that item for public comment. We have the option to put in like a 3-minute limit, just keep the comments short, but I don't think we have a large enough audience for that. I think we can have enough time to go back and forth if you guys. So it's not applicable to this at this time, but for the other items, the board will then deliberate on the proposal using applicable standards. For clarity, when considering land development proposals, code standards are typically read and voted on separately. Final decision is then read and voted on. And if the applicant disagrees with the land development permit decision that the board has made, then they may appeal the decision to the Superior Court of Maine. Once a project you're interested in has been reviewed, you may leave the meeting, but please be respectfully quiet so as not to disturb the review of other agenda items. After this public discussion, we have a zone change request, and we have two land development. What's the word I'm looking for? Land development permit applications. But we're going to do this one first just because you guys are here and in the interest of everyone's time, we're going to get started. So I'd like to look to Planning Officer Anya Collette.
So I'm going to just run through this presentation. And I just ask that if there are any questions that you wait till the end, because I might, answer that as I'm going through. But we are here to talk through some recent state laws that have passed that do affect the City of Bainbridge Land Development Code. So let me see if I can minimize this somehow. That's a little better. So for some background, the state recently passed a few laws last year that require us to update our code. And the biggest one is LD 1829. And we have to comply with that as well as LD 427 by this July. This law, and I'll go through it, but this law basically requires us to update our density minimums, or I'm sorry, our density maximums and our minimum lot size requirements. It changes subdivision, what triggers subdivision, and it does a whole host of other things, makes ADUs more flexible, ADU requirements more flexible and things like that. And then LD 427 basically required all municipalities to only require one space per dwelling unit. We already have that requirement. But the other major thing was that it requires you to allow offsite or the parking requirements for a project to be met offsite within 0.25 miles of a project. And then LD 997 requires us to allow residential uses in commercial districts. And that one we do have until next July to implement. So just running through some of the key points of LD 1829. First of all, for qualified affordable housing developments, and that means affordable housing that meets certain standards, like 51% of the units have to be affordable to people making 80% of the area median income if they're a renter, or 120% of the area median income if they're a homeowner. And this only is allowed in certain zones. So URD2, MNSD, NSD, USD, HDR, SNPS, and GCNS, all that's urban residence 2 district, multifamily and service district, neighborhood service district, urban service district, high density residential, shopping and personal service, and general commercial and service district. And I'll show maps of all those zones later on. But basically, for these zones, if it qualifies as an affordable housing development, they are allowed to have up to 14 additional feet above their pre-existing maximum height. These zones have various maximum heights between 35 feet in URD, or 35 feet in URD2 to 60 feet in SNPS. So they could go above that by 14 feet. Then we also have to allow them to have a reduced minimum parking requirement of 2 spaces for every 3 units. Those are the key changes for that. And then for accessory dwelling units, we now have to allow them on lots containing 1 to 3 dwelling units in a single structure. So a single family home, duplex, or triplex. Also, the minimum square footage for an ADU has been reduced to 160 square feet. We still have and are allowed to keep our maximum square footage of 1,000 square feet, or 50% of the primary dwelling, whichever is less. So we still have that. And then for subdivision, it used to be that when you create 3 or more dwelling units on a lot, that triggered subdivision review, so it had to go to the planning board. That's now been changed to 5 or more dwelling units. Also, planning board review, we can't require planning board review anymore for creating 4 or fewer residential units within one structure. Also, we have to require that all members of the planning board, new members, have to attend training on land use planning within 180 days of their appointment. And then additionally, we have to allow 3 units per lot, detached or attached, so separate or in a single structure, on any residential lot in the city. Now, if it's in our growth area or on public water or sewer, we have to allow 4 units per lot. Then there's a bunch of different stipulations on the lot, minimum lot size, but basically, if it's in the growth boundary and it's on public water and sewer, the minimum lot size is 5,000 square feet for 4 units, including ADUs. So you could have 3 units in an ADU or just 4 units, period. If it's outside the growth boundary, but has public water and sewer, minimum lot size is 5,000 square feet for the first 2 units, and then an additional 5,000 square feet per unit up to 4. So you'd have 4 units on a 15,000 square foot lot, again, including ADUs. If it's in the growth boundary but doesn't have public sewer, the minimum lot size is dictated by the state law on septic. So minimum 20,000 square feet for that first unit, and then additional lot area per unit based on the number of bedrooms in the unit. So that can be variable. Again, up to 4 on a lot. And then if it's outside the growth boundary and not served by public water and sewer, we can set whatever minimum lot size we want. We would keep the minimum for our RNA, rural residence and agriculture, which is 1.5 acres. And we have to allow the 3 units, including ADUs. So just to demonstrate what that looks like. So if you're in the growth boundary and you have public water and sewer, this is your 5,000 square foot lot with 4 units. If you're outside that growth boundary, but you have public water and sewer, you could have 2 units on a 5,000 square foot lot or 4 units on 15,000 square feet. If it's inside the growth boundary, not on public sewer, I just put, greater than 20,000 square feet because again, it depends on the number of bedrooms per unit. So, whatever that would be, if you had 4 units, it would be much more than 20,000 square feet. If you're outside the growth boundary again, and not on public water or sewer, you have a 1.5 acre minimum lot size. Just for demonstration, this is Bangor's growth boundary, and this was determined in our 2022 comprehensive plan. And so this mainly follows water and sewer infrastructure. There's a few outliers, but pretty much everything in here, for the most part, is on public water and sewer. And then to protect the Kenduskeag, this part of the Kenduskeag was outlined, and also the Pinjajawak over here. And then LD 427, again, the main change for us would be that we have to allow any development to satisfy their minimum parking requirements through offsite parking located within a 1/4 mile away. They have to show that that offsite parking facility does have adequate capacity to support the use. And then for LD 997, again, we have to allow residential uses in all commercial districts. We are allowed to set some limits on that. So we can limit the number of units in a commercial development. We can require ground floors of buildings and commercial zones to be restricted. We do that a little bit in downtown development district here. There's certain streets where you have to have commercial on the first floor and not residential. And then we can also set design standards, but it's very vague, but they're required to not discourage development through unreasonable cost or delays. And then other than those stipulations, the same rules that I went through for LD 1829 apply to residential and commercial districts. So the minimum lot size requirements and number of units per lot. So as far as how this applies to Bangor, we are splitting these changes into 2 different rounds. So round 1, we're focusing on the urban zones like URD1, Urban Residence 1, URD2, MNSD, NSD, and then USD. I'll show you those zones as well. And then we're also working on, and I'll go through that, but working on like the subdivision requirements and things like that. Round 2, we will focus on those transitional and rural zones like LDR, RRNA, and those, since they're a little more complicated. And then also, as far as allowing residential and commercial zones, we'll be tackling that through our land development code update, since we do have a little bit more time on that. But as far as this round 1, we will be updating the allowances for accessory dwelling units in accordance with the requirements. We're also, we're basically just taking all the minimum state requirements and applying that to our zones. So for URD1, if you're in the growth boundary on public water sewer, you have the 4 units per 5,000 square foot lot. If you're outside the growth boundary, but on public water and sewer, you have that 2 units per 5,000 square foot lot, and then so on. What we did was we looked at, where these zones are right now in relation to our growth boundary and public water and sewer, and made those different stipulations that the state requires us to have. And so it varies based on the zone. So for URD2, it's just simply 4 units on a 5,000 square foot lot plus 2,500 square feet per unit up to an additional, or I'm sorry, up to 6 total. We did change the maximum number of units in URD2 to 6. It used to be 4, but now that would make it just like URD1. So to differentiate it from URD1, we increased that a little bit to 6. The other key difference with URD2 is that it does allow that affordable housing density bonus. That density bonus was created by LD 2003. LD 2003 requires in multifamily zones that you allow 2.5 times the base density if somebody is creating affordable housing. And so that density bonus also applies to MNSD, NSD, and USD shown here. MNSD currently, you can have 2 units on a 5,000 square foot lot plus 250 square feet per unit. There's no cap. Now it would be 4 units on the 5,000 square foot lot plus 250 square feet per unit. Neighborhood Service District, very similar to URD1. We just created another cutout here for if it's outside the growth boundary and not on public water sewer, because there are a few NSD lots that meet that. It would still be 10,000 square feet for all other uses, which are mainly commercial uses. In the Urban Service District, we are proposing to change mixed commercial residential to permitted by right instead of conditional, since we do have to have residential and commercial zones have the same allowances as pure residential zones. And we're also currently in Urban Service District, there's this requirement that you have additional lot area on top of 10,000 square feet, additional lot area per unit. And so we're removing that because now the state says we have to allow that 4 units on 5,000 square feet. We're also allowing standalone residential as a use. There is already standalone residential in USD, so that does make sense. So just to demonstrate where these zones are, that would be changing sooner. URD1 is the bright orange, and then that takes up, most of the neighborhoods here. And then we do have some in the lighter orange, URD2, kind of closer to the downtown core a little bit and scattered elsewhere. Bright purple is MNSD, multifamily and service. That's scattered around. And then also Neighborhood Service District looks a little similar to bright pink. That's mostly along our corridors with a little bit scattered in the neighborhoods. And then USD, Urban Service District, is in the teal. And that's primarily also near the urban core and a few other places. We do also have some URD1 and Neighborhood Service District out here near the growth boundary. Just a few little pockets of NSD outside the growth boundary and one URD1 parcel. So then the other changes for round 1 would be changing those requirements for affordable housing developments. So allowing that height increase of 14 feet and the reduced parking minimum, again, only applies to those multifamily zones. We would also be updating the land development permit requirements to directly refer to the state subdivision law, since that's just simpler. And there's a lot of exemptions in subdivision, and it just makes sense to refer to that. We would also be creating a staff review process for the creation of 3 to 4 separate dwelling units on a parcel. And then also, we would be creating a staff review process for creating new parking lots between 5 and 19 spaces. Currently, there's no permit required for parking lots that are fewer than 20 spaces. And we felt that, these do have an impact, so they should have some permitting requirement, and these might be generated by multifamily developments. We would also be updating the language around the offsite parking agreements to match state law. And that's pretty much the final change there. Then with round 2, we would anticipate completing that later, April through May, potentially. And that would be, again, focusing on those transitional and rural zones like low density residential, high density residential, our 2 main commercial districts, and then our rural district. We would also add the requirement for the planning board member training. These are our transitional and rural zones that would be affected by these changes for now. Our RNA is rural residence and agricultural. That's the teal, makes up most of the area outside the growth boundary. High density residential is bright pink. And then low density residential, it's often next to HDR high density, but that's in the bright purple. And then we have S&PS, shopping and personal service, and GC&S, general commercial and service. These are the two main zones that cover like the mall area, the Union Street Mall, Broadway, those areas. And then just a few more pockets. GC&S, general commercial and service, covers a lot of the industrial zone over here as well. If you do have more want to find more information about the uses that are already allowed in the different zones, you can find them at this link. You can get here through the city's main webpage. If you just go up to, I think it's our government, and you click the drop down, you can find our code there, and you go to our land development code. You can get to our uses there. And then when you go there, you'll see attachment A, B, and C. Those go through all the setbacks and height and things like that for each zone. And then you can also use our parcel viewer. This is the link to our parcel viewer. You can also get there through the city's main page. It's right on the front page. You can see all the zoning there, and you can also see the growth boundary there. It's a different layer. And just a key consideration, you know, even though there are all these changes to density, we still are allowed to have setbacks, impervious surface ratio, and things like that. And that does really control, you know, how much of the lot is buildable, and how many units would be able to be placed on a lot. And the other caveat is that we are in the middle of working on our land development code, an overhaul essentially of that to align with our comprehensive plan. And that new code will incorporate these laws, but also try to align that with the vision that was established by the community in the comprehensive plan. And then we also will address the allowance for residential uses in all commercial zones with that update. But once we do have a draft for public review, which we anticipate this year, there will be a really large outreach effort to reach as many people as possible. But in the meantime, you can go to blueprintbangor.com to see the work so far. There's a technical review report that kind of summarizes what the changes would look like. And you can also sign up to get email updates there. And if there are questions or comments, you can always email us or call us too if you want. And we will also post this presentation online for people. So.
Thank you, Planning Officer Collette. That was a lot of information.
Yeah.
Can we start with questions from the board members? Are there any points of clarification needed? I thought that was a comprehensive run through. There's a lot of details, as you know. Are there any items that we were already meeting today that we didn't have to, that we don't need to change to meet the state standards?
The main one is really just the minimum minimum parking spaces per dwelling unit.
We're already in compliance with
But-
that almost totally, right?
But other
To
than
one.
that,
Or is it down to 0?
it's one
one.
now. But other than that, there's really not a lot of what we have now would have to change. The only other thing I can think of is that we do already allow multifamily residential in shopping and personal service and general commercial and service. But we have to change, you know, the minimum lot size, and things like that. So.
Are there any areas where we're exceeding the state mandate? It sounded like for URD2, there was one space where the mandate was 5 and we're going to 6.
The mandate was 4 per lot, and we're going to 6. And that just because, again, just to differentiate it from URD1. I mean,
Because
the only-
otherwise there'd be no difference in the use for URD1 versus
Yeah.
URD2.
Yeah, and the only other difference with URD2 is that they can do the affordable housing density bonus currently. So.
Member Hyun?
Does this count as our training on land use planning?
Sure.
I did have some questions about land use training too. I was
Okay.
gonna just maybe say that to the end, but it'd be great to talk about that some more too.
Yeah, so what I would envision that as is MMA, the Maine Municipal Association, every year they create a training specific to planning boards and boards of appeals. That would be the training I think would qualify. Unfortunately, they do only have that like 1 or 2 times a year, so you may have to wait a while to get it. I know Greg here and Ross had some issues, I think, accessing that, so.
Is there any explanation about if you have to do it every term or if you have to do it just once?
I think it's just one, I have to check the state law. I'm not sure they clarified that, but I would imagine, I mean, it would be a good refresher if you did it every
Yeah.
year.
I would see a benefit there too.
Yeah.
But I just wanted to know if it was stipulated.
I don't
That's
think
fine.
so.
That was the question I was going to ask at the end.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Well, we'd like to open up for public discussion and feedback, debate. But and we'd like to hear from you all. So just a reminder to keep the discussion on topic. And when you come up, make sure that the button shows as green so that people can hear you on the recording. And then to state your name and whether you're a Bangor resident and then go from there. Do we have anyone who'd like to come up to the podium to get started? Please.
Mr. Chair and members of the board, good to be with you again. It's been a while. My name is Jeff Gray. I live on Lancaster Avenue. Thank you for the opportunity and happy St. Patrick's Day. I'll try to be brief. I'm not here to question the specifics of the impending state mandates regarding density, height, parking, or zoning. The state of Maine has decided to annihilate local control, and we're going to have to live with that, learn to live with it. My question is more general in nature, and it regards design. My question is, how much control does our planning board have over the design of structures built under these new mandates? And can our planning board set minimum standards of design? Or do they just have to blindly follow the new mandates no matter what it looks like?
So I can answer that. The planning board can, recommend adoption of an ordinance that would set design standards that has to be approved by council. I will note that the land development code update, we do anticipate having design standards for the different zones. So.
Okay. Just want to remind you, please don't sell us short. Good design is worth the time and effort. What we leave behind, what we build today should, it's what we're going to leave behind, and we should try to leave it better than we found it. I'm going to introduce my next door neighbor, really smart guy, 50 years of experience in engineering and architecture. He's been in front of this board many times, and let him follow up on what I'm talking about.
Thanks,
Thanks.
Jeff. Board members, staff, good evening. Happy St. Patrick's Day. My name is Brian Ames. I'm a longtime resident of Bangor, previously a retired consulting engineer, having done many, many projects and appearing before this board many, many times in a variety of capacities. But I'm here tonight to try to give you some insights in terms of what I think is going on here and how it really is going to affect this city in a very difficult way. For instance, if you've gone up into a mobile home park recently, you'll notice that the mobile homes are parked probably about 50 feet center to center. And it gives a nice density. And for many, many years, this was regarded as a high density development in the city of Bangor, mobile homes. They were also the affordable housing 50 years ago. Today, we're talking about something with a density 4 times more dense than a mobile home park. That's going to have a huge impact on the downtown, on the URD1, the URD2. These residential areas have been developed with the existing infrastructure. And if you're going to add more units into those existing lots, it's just going to put a heavy burden on traffic, on resources, on sewer, on trash collection, the whole 9 yards. It's going to be very, very difficult. So one of the issues that we all have to deal with is how do we mitigate that encroachment into these various zones. The other thing is, when we talk about the parameters of the state mandates, you look at parking, which is 2/3 of a unit, a parking space per unit. That's incredibly small. I mean, I don't know who lives in Bangor that doesn't have a car, for one thing. So whether it's one person, two person, or three persons in that unit, they're going to have that many cars. And that's going to generate a lot of on-street parking, no matter where they're put. So on-street parking is going to be a huge problem. And then you talk about the idea that you can walk a quarter of a mile to your car. You know, good luck with that in the middle of the winter when it's snowing icy and you're carrying a bag of groceries. That's too long a distance. So that's going to be a problem. So I have a couple questions, and that is really coming down to how is the planning board or the code enforcement office going to deal with regulating the construction of very tiny lots packed with a lot of dense usage? And how is it going to allow the movement of vehicles, pedestrians and whatnot in these lots, and how are they going to be arranged? And I guess what I'm saying is I can't visualize it from where I sit, not without scale models and some 3D effects that give me an idea of the compactness of all these units and how they're going to really work. I mean, the height change is going to be significant when it's put next to a existing residential unit. So these are going to be all problems. And I noticed that the conditional usage has been taken away. So an existing property owner isn't going to have the right to argue that his property is being downgraded or infringed upon with these various things. And there are no standards for which to keep these up to his level, thus possibly degrading his financial or living situation with the cars and the trash and everything else. So these are real problems that need to be faced going forward. So in all of this, I guess I would recommend that the attachments A, B, C, giving the setback limits, the impervious limits, the screening requirements not be diminished in an effort to cram all these things in. That they probably are going to be our only tool to regulate how many units are really put into the backyard of an existing property. And without these, you can envision that a person with a half-acre lot can dump in 3 or 4 units in his backyard and make the neighbors suffer the consequences of all that. It's not right that those things could happen. So I think having sufficient safeguards in the terms of the various specific limits of development are going to be very, very important to maintain. And there are some problems. There are some examples that could be done in terms of setback requirements. Could have an increasing height requirement as it goes back from the setback line. That might help a little bit to keep the visual appearance of high-rise buildings next to low-rise buildings and things like that. So there's a lot to think about, and I look forward to this ongoing discussion, and if I can help in any way, I'd be more than happy to. Any questions?
I have a few responses. I'm glad you reminded me of a few things. So there is a stipulation, the state requires us to ensure that there's adequate water and sewer capacity for every new unit that's brought online. So that's evaluated at the, well, if it's a larger development, so evaluated here at the planning board level, but if it's just a simple building permit, then code enforcement reviews that. But we did specifically insert language. We have draft language. We anticipate that going to council for first reading on the 23rd and then April 7th per here. That's the round 1 changes I discussed. But that language includes those state requirements on water and sewer capacity. Then also the building envelope standards, you talked about having the height increase as you go in towards the lot. So we already have that requirement under our building envelope standards. None of that is changing. So that does control, how tall buildings are at the lot line. And then we're not changing the existing setbacks and impervious surface ratio. And again, those will be analyzed more with the land development code update to see, those will probably be the defining factors that differentiate between the different zones and how they feel. And then as far as parking, I will say, you know, even though we've gradually reduced parking minimums over the years, we always find that developers put in more than we require, like almost 99% of the time, because they want to get customers, they want to get tenants. And if they anticipate their tenants having cars, then they put in the parking for those tenants. So that's been our experience. And then also, I will say that one of the main barriers currently for developing multi-units, at least for renovation of multi-units in our, especially our urban zones, is sprinkler requirements. So when you're creating 3 or more units, you have to add sprinklers, and that's a huge cost. So I don't, and that's not going away. So I don't anticipate a huge like change happening tomorrow because there still are these other barriers currently. So.
My nightmare scenario was a very small subdivision of 4 very small lots filled with multiple houses and creating traffic jams and tight packed buildings and a nightmare scenario. So without seeing a 3D model, it's hard to see how this would really work in the real world. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have any other people who'd like to come up and make a comment? I know we have someone who, if there's no one else in the room at this moment, I'd like to turn to Zoom. I think there was someone who pre-registered. Is it Deborah Garcia? Do we see them on? Deborah, yes, can you hear us fine?
All right. Yes.
Okay, we hear
Can you
you.
hear
So,
me? Okay. Well, you know, I'm opposed to this land use change. Some of the reasons include what the gentleman said previously and actually the one before that. Seems like nobody is for it, but it's reassuring to know that some of the requirements that Bangor has for setbacks and so forth will mitigate any, you know, huge change, because it is very concerning. You know, you buy your house in a single family zone, and then all of a sudden, you know, decades later or whatever, depending on how long you've been in Bangor, some people, you know, for, as I say, decades, and then all of a sudden, you know, your property is devalued because it's become a multi-family zone. In fact, I don't think single families are zoned anymore. Well, not single family housing. And I, you know, and I did a little research to determine, like, is there a need for all this housing in Bangor? And the state put out a population outlook 2020 to 2030, and they have Penobscot County growing at 0.9%, less than 1% over that 10-year period. And, you know, that doesn't account for the deaths during that time. So I believe that would be stagnant growth for Penobscot County. You considering, you know, the deaths and the growth, and some of that growth is going to be babies, and they obviously won't need housing. So, you know, I just think that, as one of the gentlemen said, this is being imposed on Bangor, and we don't even, in my opinion, based on what I've been able to uncover, we don't even, you know, need to do this. It just feels wrong, and it feels unnecessary, and I'm, you know, I'm really opposed to it, basically. I'm worried about the effect on our taxes, because, you know, there'll be greater, if this growth comes to fruition. You know, maybe if the developers come and build all these housings, maybe, you know, it'll be an incentive for people to come here because we have all this housing. And if that happens, we have more traffic, we have more, you know, demand on all of our emergency services, our schools, et cetera, et cetera. And our taxes are already pretty burdensome. So, you know, and I looked at Zillow today, this last point I want to make. And we currently, in Bangor, according to Zillow, we have 101 houses for sale and 129 rentals. So, you know, where's the housing shortage? Where's the necessity for all of this, you know, planned growth? I mean, the state doesn't even see us growing at least through 2030, and beyond that, who knows? Anyway, those are my thoughts. Thank you very much. Oh, and I am a resident of Bangor, by the way.
Thank you, Deborah. Any other comments from the room?
There's two other people up there.
Well, I was going to ask the other two people there, those are applicants, or are they registered for this, or is it an applicant?
Paul Pascal,
That is the applicant.
citizen. He's on
Hello.
on our agenda.
One second. Before you get started there, we're good to take this meeting? Yeah, okay. Yeah, please go ahead. Please, you ready to make your
Hi.
comment? Sorry.
Oh, hi.
Yeah,
can
go
you-
ahead. Yeah, we hear you.
Hi.
Could you say your name for us, please?
My name is Gael Tari. I'm a resident of Waterville, Maine. We recently purchased a property in Bangor, and thank you for the members for approving the code for that area. I just had some questions regarding on how the permit works in Bangor. If like on the heating, plumbing, and any other type of work. In Bengal, do we have to have a permit for plumbing and heating or just the plumbing, please?
So that'll be handled through our code enforcement department. You can reach out to us after this meeting and we can get you in touch with them.
Okay, thank you very
During
much.
business hours, if you, yeah.
Thank you very
And,
much.
yeah, if you call the city of Bangor, they'll direct you to the department that'll help you with that.
Okay. thank
Anything
you.
about the proposed code changes based on these different state laws that have been passed?
No, no questions at all. My question
Alright.
was you already passed the proposal, so thank you. That's really what I was waiting for. But yeah, thank you.
Unless there's any other comments, we're going to close the public comment on this item. And I'd like to open it back up in case there's any additional discussion for city staff around what was presented or about the comments that were made. So recap, we heard concerns about design and how that would play into future city plans. There was concerns about density, there was concerns about parking and impact on infrastructure. We talked about buffers and setbacks. Setbacks you commented on, but what about buffers? Is there any change to buffers being proposed with the denser the increase in density?
No, all the existing buffer requirements would remain the same. Those are mainly applicable to like off-street parking from residential, and then also there's certain buffer requirements for residential and the shopping and personal service and general commercial and service zones. So
Are there any final comments you wanted to make, Planning Officer Collette, based off the comments you heard?
nope, there's not.
Then that would complete this item at this point, because this was just an open public discussion of the item, not something that required a vote. So to return to our agenda, I'm going to start with a comment. So we're going to be touching back on new business. And the planning board has two main roles. First, we review amendments to land development code, which typically include either changes to zoning districts or changes to text within the code. Our review on these amendments includes adherence to comprehensive plan, as well as considering any applicable concerns from the public. Our vote on these items is in the form of a recommendation to the City Council as to whether the item ought to pass or ought not to pass. The City Council makes the final decision on zoning and land development code changes. There's one zone change item on tonight's agenda. But secondly, the board serves as the regulatory authority for land development permits, commonly known as site plan review. Site plans are reviewed to ensure compliance with city code as to parking, driveways, stormwater management, lighting, landscaping, buffering, building location, environmental impacts, and shoreland zoning as may be applicable. We also ensure the plan meets the dimensional requirements for the project zoning district. We review large site plans that trigger site location development for the main DEP as well under their requirements. Some uses are conditional uses that have specific conditions and requirements we use to review the project. State statute also outlines the requirements for the subdivision review, and the city has additional standards as to roadway and utility specifications. The board ultimately endorses a plan that will go to the Registry of Deeds if the plan is approved. There are 2 items on the agenda tonight that are land development permits. Further information on the city's codes and standards and the comprehensive plan may be found on the city's website. I already talked through the protocol that we're going to follow for the presentation of these items, but just as a reminder, the applicant will come forward and present the change, and then we'll have an opportunity to ask questions to city staff. And after that's completed, we'll go to public comment, and we're going to come back for additional discussion and then a vote on either the standards or on the zoning request. So the next item we're going to be talking about is to amend the land development code by changing a parcel of land located at 26 Walter Street, map lot 025-143 from Urban Service District USD to Urban Residence 2 District or URD2. Said area of land contains approximately 0.11 acres total and is more particularly indicated on the map attached here to and made part hereof. Applicant owner is NAHA LLC.
So
We have the applicant here.
they misunderstood and left. They were on Zoom there, and I'm just emailing them, so I'm hoping.
Oh, thank you. Can we table this one to if they rejoin?
Yeah.
That makes more sense now. Okay. Can I get a motion to or do I need a motion to move this at this point?
If it's within the same meeting, you can just
Thanks.
say that.
I'm gonna suggest we postpone this one until after we get the applicant back. And in that case, we're gonna move forward, and it sounds like I don't need to get a motion.
Move to
We
table.
might as well just move it, yeah. So we have a motion to table this item until the applicant returns. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
We'll do a roll call vote. Member Brush,
Yes.
Member Hayes,
Yes.
Member Hobson.
Yes.
Member Hune,
Yes.
Member Jonas.
Yes.
Member Whitford.
Yes.
The chair votes yes. So we will come back to that one. Our next item is land development permit application for proposed creation of a flag lot at 141 Kittredge Road. Oh, it looks like, is this the person in question?
That's the person there.
Gail Taddy, I see you rejoined. There seemed to have been some confusion. We had, we're ready to discuss the zoning change request that I think you're the applicant on. Is that correct? Can you hear us? You might have to unmute.
I can hear you now.
Okay, great. We hear you as well. So I just introduced your zone change request. I can reread it for you, but it's the 26 Walter Street, map lot 025-143, going from Urban Service District USD to Urban Residence 2 District or URD2. And it contains 0.11 acres total and is more particularly indicated on the map attached. At this point, we look to you to present the change, the zoning change request. Are you prepared to talk about the zone change request?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So, let me just pull up what we draw here.
Is there something you need to present? You need to be set as a presenter?
Yeah, I just wanted, I like to see it on my side here, so that way I have an idea of how I can explain it. Since English is my second language, I want to make sure I can better represent it to you guys. Sorry.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah. So the property was one family unit, and we are our project is to make it to 2 units, and that's why we applied for the zoning change and to see how this plan can be approved on your hand, so that way we can go with that, please.
Any comments from staff?
I guess my only suggestion would just be to discuss, whether you feel like this aligns with the comprehensive plan as you're making a decision.
Any questions to staff about this request or to the applicant? Oh, Member Jonas?
I just have one really quick question about the size of this lot. Because when I do the math, 0.11 acres is shy of 5,000 square feet.
Yeah, that's right. We have a stipulation in the code that says that, I don't remember the exact percentage, but if you're within a certain percentage off from the minimum, the code enforcement officer can allow them to, they'll treat it like it's 5,000 square feet essentially.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for the applicant or for staff? If not, we'd open it up for public comment. And look to see if there's any public comment in the room about the proposed zone change. Do we still have Deb? I forget Deborah's last name. Deborah Garcia on the line
No.
about this item? Okay. So I'll close public comment. Oh, I'm sorry. Before I do that, did we have a raised hand? Would someone like to come up and speak? Okay. Yes, the applicant, Gail Taddy. Would you have a additional comment you want to make?
Yes, please. Just about the garage. The garage is really in bad shape, and we probably will try to take it down. I don't know if there's something I have to come to the office again to talk to the code enforcement, please.
That would be a separate matter because this is just with the zone change as far as I'm aware.
Okay, no problem. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. If there's no other, so I will be closing public comment then, unless there's anything else there. And no further review. If not, look for a motion. And reminder that the language, it should be worded as ought to pass. And then we vote yes or no on the question of whether it ought to pass. Member Hume?
Yes, Chair, I recommend that we recommend to the city council ought to pass through or a zone change at 26 Walter Street, map lot 025-143, urban service district to urban service residence 2 district, URD 2.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Yep, Member Hobson, thank you. And a roll call vote. Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hobson?
Yes.
Member Hune?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
Member Woodford?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. All right. So this will go to the city council for its next meeting to be reviewed. So that's it for this item. Any comments, Anya?
I was just going to say that's next Monday.
And which is next Monday. Thank you. Next item on our agenda is land development permit application for proposed creation of a flag lot at 141 Kittredge Road, map lot R61-011-C in the Rural Residence and Agricultural District, RRNA. The applicant owner, Jesse Nicholson.
Hello, I'm Jesse Nicholson. I'm a resident at the 141 Kittredge Road. Looking for approval of a flag style lot that for later development of a new residential property.
Thanks. Is there any other information you want to present?
Well, I currently own about 3.8 acres. The subdivision will create a 1.5 acre lot with a dwelling on it now. And then a second lot that will have a 50-foot road frontage back to open up to the flag style lot in the back, and that lot will be about 2.3 acres. Like I said, for further development, I've had soil testing done to make sure I could do a septic tank there, which is suitable for septic tank, and well drilling as well. And like I said, my intent is to build another dwelling on that property in the future. I don't know, I have the plot. I don't know if I should present that or.
Yeah, I made an oversight though. I have to back us up a little bit, but if you do have it handy to present it, I do have to discuss the procedural background, the application, that whole item. I skipped over that, so I need to return to that. You feel free to stand up at the podium. We're just gonna read through the procedural background. So staff has indicated the completeness of this application and that it's ready for board review. The fees are documented and paid. The applicant's standing is confirmed. Does the board have any concerns about these issues? Are there any concerns about conflicts of interest? If not, I'd look for a motion and second on the acceptance to accept the completeness. Go ahead, Member Jonas.
Chair, I move the board finds the application is deemed complete on March 17th, 2026, that the applicant paid all applicable fees per Exhibit 3 in our packet. The proposed project is the creation of a flag lot, and the plat was reviewed by the engineering department, and a written report was received from the city engineer on March 10th, 2026 per Exhibit 15.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, Member Whitford, and a roll call vote. Member Brush,
Yes.
Member Hayes,
Yes.
Member Hobson,
Yes.
Member Hune,
Yes.
Member Jonas.
Yes.
Member Whitford,
Yes.
and the chair votes yes. Okay, that's taken care of. Sorry about that. We had to do that first. You don't have to repeat everything you just said in my mind. But if you did have a plat you wanted to present or anything like that, this would be the time.
I apologize, I'm new to this whole.
Yeah, we've
We
seen
got
it
it.
already. It's just if it helps you just indicate anything that you want to share with us.
No, I mean, I covered it when I verbally said, I don't think there's anything I missed. No.
That's great. Any comments from the staff?
No comments.
Any questions for the applicant or for staff? I would then we'd invite you to sit down. We're going to open it for public comment, and then we're going to move forward with public comment at that point. Let's see. This is done. So at this point, I'd like to open up for public comment. Is there anyone in the room who'd like to speak about this item? If not, we'll close this item for public comment. And then before going to the motions on the standards, do any board members have any issues that they'd like to bring up before we get started? Then we'd move over to the applicable provisions and findings. Part 1, that the project meets the requirements of section 165-68B flag lots. I'd like to hear a motion for item number 1. Member Brush?
Mr. Chair, I move the board finds that based on Exhibit 2, the project meets the requirements of Land Development Code, Section 165-68B1 and Section 165-68B6 regarding minimum street frontage and minimum access strip width.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Oh, Member Hobson. And a roll call vote. Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hobson?
Yes.
Member Hune?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
Member Whitford?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Item number 2. Member Hayes?
I move the board finds that based on Exhibit 2, the project meets the requirements of Land Development Code, Section 165-68B3 and section 165-68B4 regarding the access strip not being used in the computation of the minimum area and dimensional requirements for the rear lot and regarding the rear lot meeting the requirements of the district in which it lies.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Member Hune, and a roll call vote. Member Brush,
Yes.
Member Hayes,
Yes.
Member Hobson,
Yes.
Member Hune,
Yes.
Member Jonas.
Yes.
Member Woodford.
Yes.
The chair votes yes. Item number 3. Member Hobson.
Chair, I find the board finds that based on Exhibit 2, the project meets the requirements of the Land Development Code, Section 165-68B5, regarding the requirements that only one tier of rear lots shall be permitted behind the tier of lots fronting on the street.
Thank you. Do we have a second to the motion? Member Jonas. And roll call vote. Member Brush.
Yes.
Member Hayes.
Yes.
Member Hobson.
Yes.
Member Hune.
Yes.
Member Jonas.
Yes.
Member Woodford.
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Item number 4. Member Brush.
Mr. Chair, I move the board finds that based on Exhibits 2 and 10, the project meets the requirements for Land Development Code, Section 165-68B7, regarding the requirements for lots in the rural residence and agricultural district with access strips exceeding 200 feet in length.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Member Hayes, and a roll call vote. Member Brush.
Yes.
Member Hayes.
Yes.
Member Hobson.
Yes.
Member Hune.
Yes.
Member Jonas.
Yes.
Member Woodford.
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Item number 5. Member Jonas.
Chair, I move the board finds that based on Exhibit 2, the project meets the requirements of Land Development Code Section 165-68B9 regarding flag lot plans being stamped on by a professional land surveyor.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Member Hobson, and a roll call vote. Member Brush.
Yes.
Member Hayes.
Yes.
Member Hobson.
Yes.
Member Hune.
Yes.
Member Jonas.
Yes.
Member Woodford.
Yes.
Chair votes yes. That completes part 1. We're on to part 2, that the project meets the requirements of section 165-126 for a minor subdivision. I'd like to, is there a motion on item number 1? Member Hune?
Sure, I move that the board finds that based on Exhibits 2, 4, and 10-11, the project meets the requirements of Land Development Code 165-126F1 regarding compliance with state of Maine guidelines for subdivision approval contained in 30-A MRSA 4404.
Thank you. Is there a second? Member Brush? And a roll call vote. Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hobson?
Yes.
Member Hune?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
Member Woodford?
Yes.
The chair votes yes.
Exhibit 2, the project meets the requirements of Land Development Code, Section 165-126F2, regarding the compliance with existing zoning regulations regarding lot dimensions and areas.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Member Brush, and a roll call vote. Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hobson?
Yes.
Member Hune?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
Member Woodford?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Item number 3. Oh, Member Brush?
Mr. Chair, I move the board finds that based on Exhibit 2, the project meets the requirements of Land Development Code Section 165-126F 3 through 4 regarding the requirement for at least one side of the lot to abut a street and regarding the angle of side lot lines.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Oh, Member Woodford for the second. Can we get a roll call vote? Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hobson?
Yes.
Member Hune?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
Member Woodford?
Yes.
The chair votes yes. Item 4. Member Jonas?
Chair, I move the board finds that based on Exhibits 2 and 4, the project meets the requirements of Land Development Code Section 165-126F6 regarding the plat containing all information required in Section 165-126D, Parts 1 through 8.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Member Hobson? And a roll call vote. Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hobson?
Yes.
Member Hune?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
Member Woodford?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. That completes part 2. And we're on to part 3, that the project meets the requirements of section 165-114 land development approval standards. Item 1, do we have a motion? Member Hobson?
Chair, the board finds that based on the findings made in parts 1 and part 2 of section 4 of this document, the project satisfies the requirements of Land Development Code section 165-114A regarding subdivisions.
And is there a second? Member Hayes with a second. And a roll call vote. Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hobson?
Yes.
Member Hune?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
Member Whitford?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. That completes part 3. And this brings us to the decision. Member Hune?
Yeah, Chair, I move that the board finds that the project meets the requirements of a land development permit for a flag lot and therefore grants the land development permit for the proposed project.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
That's Member Whitford, and a roll call vote. Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hobson?
Yes.
Member Hune?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
Member Whitford?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Congratulations. Your item has been approved. The applicant can reach out to the Code Enforcement Office for more guidance. Yep, that's the rest of it. Thank you.
If
Oh.
those are your plans, we do just need to keep them here for them to sign at the end of the meeting, but we'll give them to you after tomorrow. Yep.
I can come back.
Yes, that's right. Yep.
All right, that brings us to our next item, land development permit application for a major site development and major preliminary subdivision. Approval for development of 26 residential rental units, 13 duplex buildings with associated parking and access drive at the property located at 2645 Broadway, map lot R11-013 in the Rural Residence and Agricultural District RR&A and Contract Shopping and Personal Service District SNPS. The applicant owner, Steel Magnolia Steel Magnolia LLC. Staff has indicated the completeness of this application and that it's ready for board review. Fees are documented and paid. The applicant's standing is confirmed. Does the board have any concerns about these issues? Are there any concerns with conflicts of interest? If not, I'd request a motion to accept the completeness of this application. Member Jonas?
Chair, I move the board finds that the application was deemed complete on March 17th, 2026. The applicant paid all applicable fees per Exhibit 3, and the proposed project is a major site development and major preliminary subdivision.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Member Hobson with a second and a roll call vote. Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hobson?
Yes.
Member Hune?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
Member Whitford?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Okay, at this point, let's see. At this point, we'd like to invite the applicant or their representative up to the podium to give a presentation on the project.
Obviously, you guys have all this stuff in front of you too, but good evening, members of the board and staff.
Wow, that's really loud.
We'd like to initially thank the staff for their efforts to assist us in the submittal and review of this application and efforts to get it on tonight's agenda. I, Amy Young, Plymouth Engineering, and with me tonight are also representatives of Steel Magnolia LLC, Emily and Mike. I had to write most of the staff down because there's a lot going on. The proposed project is developmental subdivision located between the North Bangor Road and Broadway. It's referred to by the city of Bangor as tax map R11 lot 13. It's 5.44 acres. As indicated by the staff's memo, the base zoning in the area is RR&A, but during a recently approved permitting process for the site, a contract zone was created for SNPS. That past approved project was not constructed. The proposed project will consist of 13 residential duplexes. Each duplex will consist of 2 two-bedroom units for a total of 26 units to be offered as rentals by the owner. The project will remain private with no request of the city acquisition of streets or utilities, and the site will be served by the following amenities. A private drive designed to meet the city's minor street standards with 2 entrances and a partially closed stormwater system with catch basins. 2 parking spaces are providing for each unit. system of 2 wells that will deliver water to the central pump house where it will be pressurized and sent to the individual units. This system will be licensed as a community public drinking water system with the state of Maine drinking water program. That state application has been submitted, and we are scheduled to meet with the state inspector tomorrow at 10 o'clock on site. And the well driller letter is in your packet that you have received. The site's wastewater will be treated by subsurface wastewater disposal units designed by Steve Howell, a licensed site evaluator. The system layouts will divide the wastewater into different collection and treatment areas as shown on a utility plan. Final HHE 200 forms for submittal and approval have been completed. Electric and communication systems will be provided off North Bangor Road. The intent is for the services to be underground with the final transformer locations and number of units per transformer to be determined by the power company. Municipal solid waste will be contracted for collection, and dumpsters will be provided at the site as shown on the plans. The proposed project will create enough developed and impervious area that the Maine DEP Chapter 500 stormwater rules must be met for collection and treatment. The City of Bangor has delegated authority for those rules, and the City Engineering Department has reviewed the stormwater management design. The applicant is proposing a wet pond for stormwater management on the site that will outlet the ground surface upstream of an unnamed brook located on the east end of the parcel. That brook eventually drains to the Kenduskeag Stream. Project will provide fire protection by using the permanent pool volume of the water in the stormwater wet pond, piping and hydrant near the North Bangor Road. The system has been reviewed and approved by the city's fire department. In summary, we believe the project has been designed to meet all of the requirements of a major subdivision approval and major site development approval. Any questions? There's a lot going on.
Thank you. Any comments from staff?
No comments.
Any questions from the board to the applicant or to the representative or to the city staff? Member Jonas?
I have just a quick question for staff. And this is just for my information, because I know that I saw a note that USFs aren't required, but I don't know what that is. What's a USF?
So they're.
Okay. Oh, yeah, okay. I've heard that term before.
And they changed it when. Under drain soil filter,
Okay.
which they originally proposed, but now we're using a wet pond, so they just needed to revise their statement, that's all.
Okay, thanks. Thanks.
Thank you. Are there any provisions that we need to, or conditions, I mean to say, that we need to call out as we read through as we look through the standards?
No, the only one is at the end, just conditioning that they get final subdivision approval. They have to do that anyway. But I will say I accidentally left in some language. I think it was one of the last, maybe the last standard, where it says with the condition noted in item 3 of part 4. I didn't mean to keep that in there.
So if people want, so what's that, Member Jones?
Strike everything after time.
Yes, I see what you're saying. So this is related to part 4, item 7, line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where it starts at time to time. It's the line that starts amended from time to time. That would be a period, and then everything after that, where it starts with the condition, et cetera, et cetera. We want to remove that condition, it sounds like. Am I understanding that right? I'm trying to write with a green pen on a green highlight. It's very. We're city staff is suggesting that condition was put in error or kept in error, and so we want to remove it from our findings. Okay. Any other questions to city staff or to the representative? Thank you. We'll look for public comment on this. Is there any public comment on this item? If not, we will close public comment. And before we get started with the findings, are there any final thoughts or discussion among board members? If not, we'll begin with the applicable provisions and findings. Part 1, that the project meets the requirements of Article 2 and Article 12. Item 1, do we have a motion?
Chair.
Member Hobson?
Chair, I move that the board finds that based on exhibits 2, 10, 11, and 35, the applicant satisfied Land Development Code Section 165-33 one's requirements surrounding erosion and sediment control.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Member Hune with a second and a roll call vote. Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hobson?
Yes.
Member Hune?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
Member Woodford?
Yes.
The chair votes yes. Item number 2. Member Brush?
Mr. Chair, I move the board finds that based on Exhibit 2, the applicant satisfied Land Development Code Section 165-65 requirements regarding yard space and for group buildings.
Thank you. And a second?
I'll second.
Member Hobson? And a roll call vote. Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hobson?
Yes.
Member Hune?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
Member Woodford?
Yes.
The chair votes yes. Item number 3. Member Hayes?
I move the board finds that based on Exhibit 2, the applicant satisfied Land Development Code 165-68's requirements for lot frontage.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Member Jonas? And a roll call vote. Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hobson?
Yes.
Member Hune?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
Member Woodford?
Yes.
The chair votes yes. Item number 4. Member Jonas?
Chair, I move the board finds that based on Exhibit 2, the applicant satisfied Land Development Code Section 165-66, requiring a greater setback and a buffer yard between uses in the Shopping and Personal Service District, SMPS, and any residential district.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Member Hobson? A roll call vote. Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hobson?
Yes.
Member Hune?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
Member Woodford?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Item number 5. Member Hune?
Yes, Chair, I move that the board finds that based on Exhibit 2, the applicant satisfied Land Development Code 165-72 regarding the required number of parking spaces. Section 165-73's requirements regarding parking space location and screening, and Section 165-74's requirements regarding parking lot design, construction, and maintenance.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Member Hayes with a second and a roll call vote. Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hobson?
Yes.
Member Hune?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
Member Woodford?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Item number 6. Member Hobson?
Chair, I move that the board finds that based on exhibits 2, 10, 11, 14, 16 through 18, 22 through 25, 31, 32, 33, and 35, the applicant satisfied Land Development Code Section 165-79 and Section 165-80, requiring adequate utility service, including water, sewage disposal, electricity, fire protection, provision for stormwater runoff, and lighting.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Member Woodford with a second and roll call vote. Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hobson?
Yes.
Member Hune?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
Member Woodford?
Yes.
The chair votes yes. Item number 7.
Member Brush.
Do we have Member Brush? Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I move the board finds that based on exhibits 2 and 25, the applicant satisfied the Land Development Code Section 165-81, requiring appropriate lighting and prevention of light trespass in accordance with regulation on intensity, direction, and height.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Member Hayes? And a roll call vote. Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hobson?
Yes.
Member Hune?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
Member Woodford?
Yes.
The chair votes yes. Item number, that brings us to item number 8, if I'm correct. Yes, item number 8. Can I get a motion? Member Hayes?
I move the board finds that based on Exhibit 2, the applicant satisfied the Land Development Code Section 165-83 requiring adequate electrical services.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Member Jonas? And a roll call vote. Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hobson?
Yes.
Member Hune?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
Member Woodford?
Yes.
The chair votes yes. Item number 9. Member Brush?
Mr. Chair, I move the board finds that based on exhibits 2, 9 through 10, 26, 32, 33, and 36, the applicant satisfied Land Development Code Section 165-84, requiring provisions for surface water and storm drainage.
Thank you. I think you meant to say item 30, exhibit 35. I think you made a,
I,
I think you said 36 by accident.
35.
Yeah, just a note. And then do we have a second?
Second.
Member Hobson? And a roll call vote, Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hobson?
Yes.
Member Hune?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
Member Woodford?
Yes.
The chair votes yes. And the chair votes yes. That completes part one. We're on to part two, that the project meets the district site development standards under Article 19. There's one item here. Could we get a motion for item one? Member Hobson?
Chair, I move that the board finds that based on Exhibit 2, the applicant satisfied Section 165-135 of the Land Development Code regarding height limits, floor area ratio, impervious surface ratio, and buffer yards.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Member Hayes with a second. Roll call vote, Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hobson?
Yes.
Member Hune?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
Member Woodford?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. That completes part two. We're on to part three, that the project meets the requirements of section 165-128, major subdivision. Can I get a motion for item number one? Member Jonas?
Chair, I move the board finds that based on exhibits 2, 4, 7, 10 through 16, 24, 26, 28, 29, and 31 through 33, the applicant satisfied Land Development Code Section 165-128C Part 1's requirement that the subdivision shall meet the state of Maine guidelines for subdivision approval contained in 30A MRSA 4404.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Member Hune, and a roll call vote. Second. Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hobson?
Yes.
Member Hune?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
Member Woodford?
Yes.
The chair votes yes. Item number two. Member Brush?
Mr. Chair, I move the board finds that based on Exhibit 2, the applicant satisfied the Development Code Section 165-128C2's requirements that the plat shall conform to existing zoning regulations regarding lot dimensions and areas.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Member Hayes? A roll call vote. Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hobson?
Yes.
Member Hune?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
Member Woodford?
Yes.
The chair votes yes. Item number three. Member Hobson?
Chair, I move that the board finds that based on Exhibits 2, the applicant satisfied Land Development Code Section 165-128C6's requirements that all proposed streets shall provide connection with existing streets. Section 165-128C7's requirements regarding the angle of street intersections, and Section 165-128C10's requirements regarding street grades.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Member Hune with a second. Roll call vote. Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hobson?
Yes.
Member Hune?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
Member Woodford?
Yes.
The chair votes yes. Item number four. Member Hayes?
I move the board finds that based on Exhibit 2, the applicant satisfied Land Development Code Section 165-128C13's requirements regarding the number and spacing of access drives.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Member Hobson, a roll call vote. Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hobson?
Yes.
Member Hune?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
Member Woodford?
Yes.
The chair votes yes. Item number five. Member Hune?
Chair, I move that the board finds that based on the findings made in subsection 1 through 4 above, the preliminary plat contains all required information in section 165-128C.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Member Brush? And a roll call vote. Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hobson?
Yes.
Member Hune?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
Member Woodford?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. That completes part three. We're on to part four, that the project meets the requirements of section 165-114 land development approval standards. Is there a motion on item one? Member Brush?
Mr. Chair, I move the board finds that based on the findings made in Part 3 of Section 4 of this document, the applicant has satisfied Land Development Code Section 165-114A's requirements that the project meets the subdivision criteria established under 30-A MRSA section 4404 as it shall be amended and the requirement of Article 18 of the Land Development Code.
Thank you. And a second? Member Jonas? And a roll call vote. Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hobson?
Yes.
Member Hune?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
Member Woodford?
Yes.
The chair votes yes. Item number 2. Member Hayes?
I move the board finds that based on exhibits 2 and 34, the applicant satisfied Land Development Code section 165-114B's requirement that the proposed parking and loading layout are arranged in a reasonable and safe configuration, and section 165-114C's requirement that all proposed access drives from the site to any public right-of-way are reasonably necessary and safe.
Thank you. And is there a second?
I'll second.
Member Hobson? And a roll call vote. Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hobson?
Yes.
Member Hune?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
Member Woodford?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Item number 3. Member Hobson?
Chair, I move that the board finds that based on exhibits 2, 10 through 11, and 32 through 36, the applicant satisfied Land Development Code section 165-114D's requirements regarding minimizing adverse effects from stormwater runoff and ensuring adequate stormwater collection capacity.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Member Woodford? And a roll call vote. Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hobson?
Yes.
Member Hune?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
Member Woodford?
Yes.
The chair votes yes. Item number 4. Member Brush? Member Brush?
Mr. Chair, I move the board finds that based on exhibits 2 and 25, the applicant satisfied Land Development Code section 165-114E's requirements that the proposed outdoor lighting is designed to avoid unreasonable light pollution.
Thank you. Is there a second? Member Hune? And a roll call vote. Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hobson?
Yes.
Member Hune?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
Member Woodford?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Item number 5. Member Hobson?
Chair, I move that the board finds that based on exhibit number 2, the applicant satisfied Land Development Code section 165-114F's requirements for screening, landscaping, and tree preservation.
Thank you. Is there a second? Member Jonas? And a roll call vote. Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hobson?
Yes.
Member Hune?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
Member Woodford?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Item number 6. Is there a motion? Member Hayes?
I move the board finds that based on exhibit 2, the applicant satisfied Land Development Code section 165-114G's requirements that the location of the buildings meet all required setbacks and are situated to avoid unreasonable adverse effects on adjacent properties or public right-of-ways.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Member Hobson? And a roll call vote. Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hobson?
Yes.
Member Hune?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
Member Woodford?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Item number 7, and a reminder that this is the one that we had to remove the language at the very end of it. And it looked like Member Jonas, you'd like to make the motion.
Chair, I move the board finds that based on exhibits 2 and 32 through 35, the applicant satisfied Land Development Code section 165-114K's requirement that the development meets the standards of 38 MRSA section 420-D part 1 as amended, and the standards of the Department of Environmental Protection Regulations, chapters 500, 501, and 502, as they may be amended from time to time.
Thank you. Is there a second? Member Hayes with a second, and the roll call vote. Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hobson?
Yes.
Member Hune?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
Member Woodford?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. This brings us to the decision, and there's a note about the condition at the end, so we'll read it. This one we will read as written, if there's a motion. Member Brush?
Mr. Chair, I move the board finds that the project meets the requirements for a land development permit for a major site development and major preliminary subdivision, and therefore the board grants the land development permit for the proposed project with the condition that the project receives final subdivision approval.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Member Hobson with the second, and a roll call vote. Member Brush?
Yes.
Member Hayes?
Yes.
Member Hobson?
Yes.
Member Hune?
Yes.
Member Jonas?
Yes.
Member Woodford?
Yes.
And the chair votes yes. Congratulations. The application is approved and the applicant can reach out to the code enforcement office with more guidance. Any comment from city staff? That concludes the new business. At this point, we're moving on to other business. There's a follow-up from last meeting is one item that's on the list for other business. Was that Planning Officer Colette?
Yes.
Did you have an item you wanted to talk through there?
I won't rehash the whole memo, just to say that, the reason that we want to take into account, the possibility of climate change is that it's our role as planners to anticipate, multiple future scenarios and how that might impact the city. And most future scenarios as of now point to, and the current, situation is that we do need more housing. We have a housing study that says, we're short 700 units primarily for people of lower incomes. And if we do anticipate, an influx of people in the future, then we need to be planning for how we might accommodate that. And we need to be looking at our infrastructure and, does it accommodate people now? And does it accommodate, a potential population influx in the future? And in addition to that, just the severe weather that we're already experiencing, droughts that we're already experiencing, and, heat waves and things like that, we have to make sure that we're prepared for those. And if they might increase in the future, we need to be even more prepared. So I just want to, reiterate what we do here, and why we have to take these things into account. So.
Thank you. Any discussion? Next item is the follow-up thoughts on land use plan updates. Are there any updates other than what we were discussing here today?
The only thing I would say is that we do anticipate the draft for staff review at the end of this month. And so we'll have a busy couple months ahead of us reviewing that. And then after that will be the draft for everyone to review.
But our next meeting's in April, right? Is that what you're saying? We would review it in April or would go out for first reading?
No, that was the round one updates for the state law changes
Okay.
would be at your April 7th meeting.
All right. Any other comments or questions? And any documents that need to be signed before we leave?
We'll need both subdivision plans signed and then the findings that you adopted at the beginning.
All right. That concludes the meeting, the planning board meeting for this evening, the 17th of March. The time is 8:32. Happy